want to go to, and of course have interesting evenings there, have interesting meals there, because everything of theirs is really up to the standards. The numbers are there on the screens. You can want to contact them and maybe make reservations or bookings so that you can have some time and go there. I always encourage you to always tell people traveling from abroad or want to travel abroad that you can first rest at Protea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe, then proceed with your journeys. Well, the discussion today, we're going to be exploring traders' allegations of double taxation by URA. It has been a concern. Yes, sometime back here, we brought people from the traders' unions, and of course they were telling us how URA is taxing them, and somehow, somewhere also a very high rate. But there are so many issues in there, like 18% on rent, and then also taxation in kgs, and then also the kind of treatment by the enforcers. You know, when you're in town and you see how the enforcers, the URA enforcers do treat the traders, really you can want to get concerned, like what happened, what is wrong, why people are in this kind of treatment to their fellows, yet we are all Ugandans. Anyways, it is not me who's going to be telling you all that information. Today, I'm privileged to host the Secretary General of Kasita Youth League, and of course, Mr. Katongole Abdul Hakim. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm glad to be here on this Monday morning.
All right. And you can actually first greet our viewer out there.
Yes, good morning, dear viewers. Katongole Abdul Hakim, the Secretary General of Kasita Youth League. When you see me putting on black, it's not that I wanted to put on black on such a cold Monday.
Okay.
I would love to put on a white shirt, but right now what we are doing, we are mourning for our businesses, which are going down by the enforcers, basically by URA.
We shall dive into that, absolutely.
Yes.
And it is really a big pleasure to have you here today. So what is the state, before we delve into anything, what is the cause of all this that we're going to be experiencing? Where did it come from?
It all comes from the taxman, the double taxation. That is what we are strongly apprehending our voices to.
Okay.
Because when you bring out the double taxation, you bring out the IFRI systems, you bring out the different tax options you have for the business community, and you've not done the awareness, or you've not sensitized very well to the community. That means you are pushing us out of business, because of recent we have seen an increase on the 18% VAT increment on the rent dues. So someone already paying 3 million and you add the 18%. Why doesn't this 18% go back to the landlord? And now you're enforcing it to someone who is in the shop. And we all know how business is moving on currently. Things are down. It's not that we are enjoying so much, because even the little profits we've been getting, again, you're bringing other options to take them away. So this is why we are saying no.
Okay.
And this time we've been so calm of recent, because actually this had to start in the NAM sessions. But we all know that when visitors are around, we need to cover ourselves.
Yes.
So we try to cover ourselves. We gave an outmam of 1 month. It came to an end on 8th March.
All right.
We had the PSST come down on ground to intervene, and he deliberately asked for 1 week, but the 1 week has not yielded results. So this time round we are closing all our shops. It's not that we are coming for an abnormal demonstration. We are doing a peaceful one. Okay. We are closing our shops until when government apprehends its ears to have solutions to the factors affecting the business community.
Okay, but when they are making these resolutions, like on how much they should tax, do they consult you? Do you have dialogue with them?
Dialogues would have been there, but I don't think the dialogues have worked. Okay. Because at the end of the day, even in the meetings we have with the different authorities, something different is agreed upon, but when you go down to the enforcement, again something different is there. So that means there is an outstanding decision made by the authorities, not in our consultations.
Okay. So the sensitization you're talking about, they do not reach out to you?
Exactly. They have not reached out to the business community. Now when it comes to the IFRS system, you find out that they are stopping the traders downtown. You go to Chikubo, it's no longer impossible even if you're carrying a small box. Come to Nakasero, it's no longer impossible even if you're carrying a small box. Go to Nasa Road. Just because they're enforcing something, they're enforcing the free system, but it cannot work when you have not done the best sensitizations. So I think we can embrace, as Ugandans, we are ready to embrace any change, but the change we are ready to embrace has to be of impact and of a good impact to our business community. Because when you tell me to use the free system, it requires me to pay an 18%, which has already been paid at the customs at the customs point when you're bringing in the goods. So this is a double taxation. However much the SIGI tries to narrate it in a different way, but at the end of the day, you are affecting the end user. And secondly, at times now, when you come to the downtown shops, we have what we call the Okuyidiba. Someone comes to your shop. He doesn't have what the client has asked for, so they ask from you, give me this. I go show the client, then when they buy, I bring it back, I bring you the money. So in that new intercourse, someone is taking the package, the other side intervened. Now we are wondering if, and at most cases, the things taken, not all of them are bought, some are returned back. So if I've already sold it using the IFRS system and someone returns it, what is the way forward on that? There is no way forward. So I think we still lack a big gap for such good engagements. Yes.
And then when you come to decide, how do you come to decide of closing shops? And are you aware of the implications that will come?
We are aware of the implications because if we manage to be home for 2 years during COVID, what about the 14 days? Closing down the 14 days. Because now I think the government, the only voice it will hear when people go on strike. And for us, we are coming for a peaceful strike, not a violent one. So closing shops would be of impact because surely we know it will affect us, but it will also affect the tax collector. Because if Kampala is shut down for two weeks, at least something will be done. Yes. And
still, every person is collectively a part of this, because we do not want to see some shops are closed and others are reaping.
Being open to you, right now taxes have affected all sectors. So we've done all the consultations. And when you look when you look through Casita, we have different sectors because this is a multi-sectoral business association. We have from the garments, from the textiles, from the electronics, from even now we are going to the agriculture sector. Everyone is crying off taxes. So if we amplify our voice and we say let's shut down Kampala, I think that voice will be heard. So this time round we are pushing forward and everyone is on board. People are all coming. We are receiving new constant messages. People were telling us close earlier and we said no, let us set that date. Because by the time we decided to say that let's shut down Kampala, people were saying let's even close tomorrow. So if people are eager like that, so we need to set that date. If nothing intervenes in the remaining grace period we've given, that means we shall go on. We shall go off. Because even people wanted to close before Eid celebrations. Then we said no, there are some who are going to benefit from this season. So I think they deserve a chance to sell off their products. And we said, okay, what is the best time for closing? 16th. April is the best time.
I'm critically looking at how the whole process is going to be. How about someone who is selling yellow bananas, selling fruits? What are they going to be like?
Let me tell you, on a daily basis, when you look at, we are not only striking because of the high taxes, but also we are striking because of the enforcement. On a daily basis, we get people who move in our offices seeking for help from KCCA, from the police. So all these things need to be intervened. when we say enforcement is really big. So this is what we are looking at. Yes.
And we're still talking about enforcement. How often do you interact with these people? Because I think they also they also be looking at what their enforcers are doing down there.
Well, being frank, I think we've been interacting with all stakeholders, including Uganda Police Force, including URA. We've hosted the Commissioner General not once, not twice. We hosted him at our offices just at when we declared the first close off. That was 8th March. Together with the PSST. We hosted him again just of recent year in Lugogo, whereby he also requested for some time. Okay. But the more ample time we give, we feel that we are losing out. Because if we agree that, okay, let me take 2 weeks, and then in the 2 weeks you come out putting out a communication that all the customs in the bond, they are going to be auctioned off, that means we are not helped. By the time the 2 weeks elapse, that means our things are going to be auctioned off. Yes, sure. We shall have lost. We've had engagements with the Uganda police, and they have been to our offices several times. They have just held a meeting at our offices with the taxpayers, just to look for the best way to address this matter. Yes, so we've done our level best, and now we are losing out. So we need to go and have our voice amplified. Maybe that's when the change will come.
And then if you're to look at the political landscape, have you tried to reach out to the head of state?
To the head of state, yes, we reached out to the head of state, because in the first letter, in the first close off, we gave him an ultimatum of 30 days to make the traders. Okay. However, the 30 days elapsed when he had not met, but he had promised. That's when he sent the PSST together with the Commissioner General to come and intervene, and he promised to meet us this month, April. However, the dates are not yet communicated, so we don't know. April can be 30th, April can be 31st, but we're already losing out. So if he promised to meet us, at least by now, the dates will be out. Sure. And we would become. But if the dates are not out, that means we have to take the next step. Yes, maybe when they will hear the voice that we are closing off, that's when they will have the dates brought on board. Okay. But if the dates are not brought on board, nothing is stopping us this time round. And what we want is the traders, we want to meet the president, tell him directly what is happening to the ground on ground. Yes, not doing the reported speech, because maybe some people, when they go to meet the president, they mislead him. I'm sorry to say that. They share something which is not right. But now we are ready to tell the president what is going on the downtown, because we are the mostly affected people. Yes. And
still in that regard, is it the first time we're experiencing this, or do you have a shutdown?
It's not the first time. This is not the first time we are experiencing.
So it has worked before.
It has worked before. And I think what we are advocating for so much right now, that in the past days we had a direct contact person when it came to the traders' affairs. Yes, by then the president had assigned the former IGP, that is General Kale Kaihura, for anything concerning the traders. He was the immediate person who would approach, and he would directly inform the president that this and this is happening. But right now we don't have that person. It's like we are on our own. We have to seek for appointments by ourselves. So by the time maybe the letters get to the president, they don't disclose what is really happening. Yes, so we need that focal person to come back. That's when we shall have all issues intervened.
And are you in touch with the workers' MP? Or maybe do you think there is need to have a representative of the traders specifically?
That is very key, because we have petitioned the Speaker of Parliament. We wrote a petition to the Speaker, and we have told her about everything happening downtown, and we have also requested at least to have a representation when these decisions are made, because we may also challenge URA, but also URA is running on some on some how can I say, it's also running on some guidelines.
Okay.
It's not the overall CA in this thing. So we need to see, where does all this come from? Where does the 18% come from? Where does the IFRI system come from? Where does this come from? So we are looking at all that, and I think a representation will work best for that cause.
Okay.
But if we are not represented, we are going to continue having challenges, and several challenges onboarding the traders.
Okay. Yes. And have you thought of the current political landscape, majorly in the central? Do you think it has anything to do with this, for government not to respond so quickly? Because if you are to look in other sectors, people do allege that the kind of political landscape in the central right now is because of that. If you are to look at the roads, if you are to look at what, have you thought of that?
Honestly, we shall not blame that the political landscape. We shall not say that it's the political landscape, because now when it comes to the taxman, to the taxpayers, it is a general cause, because we all know that the traders contribute the highest taxes when it comes to the tax collection statistics. But when you start isolating that, because now Kampala is for so and so and so, I don't have support, that means we're already losing out.
Oh, yeah.
So we shouldn't attribute this to a political landscape. Yes.
Okay.
Interventions have to be brought on board, and we have to embrace them, and also listening to us is very key in this cause. Yes.
Looking down will mean a lot, and it will truly bring an impact. Are you aware of the challenges, and what do you think some of these challenges are going to be during these 14 days?
During the 14 days, we all know that income will go low, especially because traders are going to cut down. They are going to close off their shops. No one is going to work. But if the 14 days will come to an end with a solution, it will be, we need to foresee in the future. We need to foresee for the future. Okay. If the traders close for 14 days and the 14 days come with a solution, that means we shall have reached two targets. First of all, we are going to be working in a favorable business community. We are going to be free. Trade will normalize, because what is affecting us now, that of recent, when we had the Commissioner General, someone came in and said they had $20,000 as capital by 2021. But by now, someone is operating on a capital of $8,000. The $12,000 have been lost in taxes.
Wow.
So if people are losing capital like that, and when you look at only that, it's only that one person. When you look at URA is also losing out, because I think URA needs to do a research and find out that there are people who used to bring in cargo. Like people go stock their cargo, they bring in much cargo. But if you find in your database that so and so Hakim is no longer bringing in, what is happening? Is he out of business? I think URA is not doing that research, because if it was doing that research, it would be reacting. Okay. Because you need to find out who are your old customers, because for us in business we do monitor someone who has been buying from you for the last 10 years. You know that person. So if you're no longer seeing that person, you make a phone call. What is really happening? But URA is just quiet. People are running out of business, they are quiet. They are losing out clients, they are quiet. People are dissolving to come into groupages, and they are affecting them. You find that someone brings in cargo. After bringing in the cargo, they agree to take over. They agree to with someone. They come. They find different things from a different sub entity. Now they hold the whole container. All of you get stuck there. You are 6. Your cargo is there. Your commodities are stuck, and you're losing market.
Oh, yes.
But in the past, people were owning containers alone. But URA is not doing this research. This is what is hurting most.
Oh, wow.
People are running out of business day and day. Yes.
So if the 14 days are done and no response has been made, what will be your move?
Then I think the only solution, they want us to go out of town. we shall have no options, just to leave town and leave it for those who can manage it. Because ideally, I'm telling you, if I'm competing, and by the way, we are also not only on the taxes, but also the so-called investors. Yes.
By the way, I also on the post I saw you want the Chinese to also go back
to
factories.
We are competing. We are competing with the investors in the local market. Yeah? Because if I open a shop, let me tell you, if I open a shop and an investor comes, opens a shop just right beside my shop, and we are both okay, I saw retail and wholesale, and for him he comes, he's selling retail at a cheaper cost than mine. Yeah? Am I going to be in business?
Not at all.
So I think the country no longer belongs to the man. But all in all, we hope that the 14 days they are going to yield results. If they don't yield results, we shall continue prolonging it. Because even in COVID, we started with 14 days, 21 days, up to 1 year.
All right. Hey. And surely, if we are to talk about the investors that are supposed to be investing or being in factories or sort of, who gives them these? Do they also get clearance to come and operate downtown here? Or they are just there illegally?
No, actually, some of them, we may not say they are there illegally, but they are using their licenses in the wrong way. Because when you look at the guidelines issued by Ministry of Trade, what they consider awarding these people these licenses, some of them are given different licenses and come operate something different. So I think that is affecting us so much. In the last meeting we had with the PS at Ministry of Trade, they promised to do a research on that. However, we have not gotten the final consensus on how far they have gone with the research to find out who is eligible to operate a shop, who is not eligible. But for us now, our cry is, however much they are eligible to operate shops, because now when they come here, they tend to adapt to change nationality, and and at the end of the day, they tell you they are nationals, and they deserve all the right to get all the benefits of any citizen. So if it is like that, I don't think it will work. It works out. So we need to find out the best. We need to do that research. But all in all, what we want, let the investors stick on what brought them. Let them remain in their factories. We shall go and purchase from their factories. Let's not compete in the local market. And actually, what they are doing, they have also started hawking their material. Hawking their goods. You find out that you had a client who was coming from Chiboga.
Okay.
This client no longer comes. You give a phone call. Hey, what happened? What is going on? I got these people. They are bringing for me things, and I'm no longer covering transport. So you see, we are competing for the local market. So we need, in every country, any developing country, what you need to do, what needs to be agreed on is you have to create a favorable business community for your citizens. And this is not happening here. That's why we are saying no. Yes.
As a country, I think we're having a lot of challenges. Well, I remember somehow, somewhere, I always mention here that investors are now become our normal people, because somewhere there's, in some place I don't like mentioning, these people, they are white. I don't know if they are not supposed to be there or there, but they are also having stalls of chips. And
you've also
so
seen.
I'm like, what is happening?
And they have also started operating mobile money outlets. Imagine. Someone came as an investor. Where is our country going, really?
Well, we're having this discussion, and a lot we are still unpacking. So you want to stay on with us. We're going in for a very short break and return with the more discussion and light. We're putting light into what is happening majorly in the traders community here in Kampala.
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Safe Screens. Safe
Issues at hand, powered by
Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe. Comfort and luxury at its best.
Yes, you are still watching Issues at Hand, and of course, we are exploring the traders' allegations on double taxation by URA. It has been a continued discussion even when we are not on air. Well, things are a lot, and really a lot. So, one of the concerns, but before that, remember we are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott Entebbe, so you'd want to go and check on them. Now, I'm still here with Mr. Katongole Abdul, the Secretary General of Kasita Youth League. And now my major concern here is about this shutdown that is going to happen on the 14th. From the 16th, of April, and it is going to take 2 weeks, which are 14 days. And now I want to understand: can this be stopped, and what can stop it?
The solution to stop this shutdown is very simple. First of all, the president's intervention, to come and the president to give an open ear to meet the traders. If the president meets the traders, it can stop. Secondly,
what if he meets the traders but nothing is done? Just want to meet him.
What we know, when we go to the president and present our issues, a reaction will come on board.
Okay.
Definitely. Because even the president is not aware of these policies. Some of the policies.
But how is your representation? How is your leadership?
Our leadership, now, when you come to the business community, we have quite a number of associations in the business community.
Do you have one body that unites all of you?
The one body is under formation. The one body which unites all the traders association. It's under formation.
Okay.
Because we've seen some few so-called bodies uniting traders, but they are not authentic, and we don't want to give comments on them. But as the business community, we are reaching out to all associations, because now what we've done, we've gone to an extent of going up to Arua and Imbarara, forming. That is how far we've gone, forming associations. So all these associations, they are going to convene. Actually, we convened already in one place, and we agreed to have one. The resolution was passed to have one representing body of the.
Is it independent, or it is going to be government sort of?
This is not. It's not government. Yes, it is independent. However, much also Ministry of Trade is trying to do is also doing a confederation of the traders associations. I think we've been engaged in several meetings with them. Okay. But this one is coming as independent. Because when you fall into the government organizations, we may not reap what we want. We may instead lose out because we don't know what their goal is. Where are they coming out now? So we just have to remain on our earlier organizations, on our earlier resolutions which were passed to have this move.
So I was still asking you about the leadership. Do you think your leadership, do you think it has done good representation? Has it raised the concerns, or when they get there, they speak differently?
We have raised the concerns. When you say that my leadership, I have to take myself into the leadership, because I do represent the youth. So our leadership, we've done our level best, and indeed the voices are heard. When you mention anything concerning the traders, even these social media, the social media things, these people are seeing what is happening, and they are aware. If you think the voices have not been heard, if you think that we have not impacted, why is there panic? Why is there always panicking in the closing days when we want to close off? Panic comes in. So if panic comes in, that means the voices are heard. Yes, we've had a good representations, and we thank our leaders who have who are pushing this. That all the representation they are doing, we are really grateful, and we know that they are doing it for the same because also them, also us, we are businessmen. Okay, we are also affected by the taxes. Yes.
Okay, and we're talking much about taxes and all that, and it is URA in charge of this. How often do you dialogue with URA?
URA we are dialoguing so much, and we're having constant engagement.
Okay.
I'll give for one, Casita already sourced a monthly tax clinic with URA to come help the traders out. But where we see URA going astray, it's not that we need to side it.
Okay.
We need to run independent because we are going for the same cause. So we are not allowing URA to go divert, yet we want to be on the straight line. So if they go divert, even we go divert. So they cannot say that we have not had engagements with them. We are speaking to them, and also them, they know what is happening. They know now, the traders are going to strike. They know. And they're also in panic what is really not happening. But all that comes from agreeing on something different, and something different is impacted after the meetings. Because we have these meetings. Yes.
So under what policies do you think the URA and or any regulating body comes up to just increase taxes like that?
As I stated earlier, URA, we may be seeing it in the forefront as because it's the tax collector body, but it's not the end, or it's not the overall oversee of the taxes. These decisions come from a different team. URA is given to enforce. So if we are looking at that, we need, I think. Because we are also arguing that if they have the right to increase, don't they have the capacity to decrease the taxes? If you have the right to increase, you can also decrease. At least decrease for the cause, and no, now the business community is affected by such and such an error. We need to give them an opportunity. How are we recovering from? Because even up to now, people are still recovering from COVID. So I think URA is not key to blame. However, we are seeing it as the tax collector body. Yes.
So how do you think resolving this issue of high taxation and then 18% on rent and all that, how do you think this will benefit the traders community?
How is it going to benefit the traders the business community? Because now for us we don't call it the traders, it's the business community. One, the smaller profits we've been making, we are going to retain them. First of all, when you go to the 18% VAT, do you know that there are people paying over 15 million a shop rent? 18 million. Here in Kampala. And you're adding them the 18%, that burden. If it is 10 million, the 18% is 1.8. So instead of keeping my 1.8 as profits, I'm going to add it on the 10 million to pay it off. Second, when you look at the IFRS system, if we phase it out, because surely it is not the right time for us to use IFRS, let it phase out. The 18% pertained on the IFRS system, that means it's also going to remain to my end, because these goods have been already, the 18% has been cleared at importation at the customs point. It has already been cleared, but now it is a double taxation. I'm affecting the end user. Three, we are going to go back to the normal business and operate our shops smoothly. Yes, that is the solutions to these problems. They are very simple. Government intervention, taking away the unfavorable business policies, and also having the so-called investors go away from the local market. If we have those go away from the local market, business is going to get back to normal. But if they are still in the local market, we are losing out.
All right. Yeah. And then how do you think government can really come in and engage URA?
The top decision comes from the top authorities. We all know who runs the country. So the president has a right, because when you also look at the policies in URA, the president has a right to pardon someone a tax. Has a right to exempt someone from paying tax. So if he has that right, You mean he cannot implement it to the business community? I think he can. Let us have these taxes reduced. Let us stick to the normal tariffs we had. Let us take away the 47 tariffs where we are taxing people in kilograms, what and what. Some things are taxed in kilograms, yet even they don't weigh the value as taxed. And I was having a challenge with URA last time. They say that when you import something, the taxes paid should not exceed the amount of the item brought in. Then we said no. I said no. I for one. When you're importing a car, you buy a car, let me say at 9 million, but by the time you bring it to Uganda, you will pay over 18 million.
Oh, that's quite an amount.
But you've bought it at 9, but here at importation, they will charge you over 18 million. So how does that come to be? Yet you're telling us that the item brought in should not exceed, the taxes paid should not exceed the amount the item brought in. So there is still a gap.
Right.
And sensitization has to be done. Anything brought on board and it is not sensitized, it won't work. I'm being open to everyone. Anything brought on board and it is not sensitized, it won't work out. Yes.
Now let's look at the results or the after effects of the 14 days. Are you ready for the losses that are going to happen during that time?
I'll give you an example. Someone has lost 12,000 US dollars in paying taxes. So if we close, we are ready, because most of the people doing businesses down there do not have new stock. The stock they have is old, just to maintain that they are maintaining their shops. Just because people these days do not want to go to China, do not want to go anywhere, if unless government intervenes. Because they say, now I'm going to go, I bring my container which was paying 80 million. Now it is being charged over 180 million at customs. Are you still going to be in business?
Not at all.
So we are already working for losses. So instead of working for more losses, because every time you come to Kampala, at a minimum, on a budget expense, you spend 35,000 every day you come and open a shop. You look at transport, you look at the breakfast, you look at the lunch, you look at the refreshments, you look at paying for the utilities. So someone spends 35,000 on budget. Someone operating a shop down. And when you're driving, it is worse, because you look at the fuel, you look at the parking. In Kampala, the cheapest parking you will find is 10,000.
Oh yes.
For a full day. So the more we continue opening our shops, that means we're incurring more losses.
Okay.
So it is better we close until an intervention comes on board. So that's why we are telling the traders, let us be ready to take whatever it takes, as long as we are peaceful. And we are also going to do trainings on how we are going to strike. Because we don't want to be violent. We don't want to be accused that people stoned the police. No. We are going to do the trainings on how people are going to strike. And the traders are ready to embrace. They're already embracing. People are calling us daily. When is the training? We want to know, how are we going to handle matters?
Wow. But you're sure everyone is going to be involved?
Everyone is going to be involved. Look, 18th is here. 16th, sorry.
16th, yes.
So 16th, early in the morning, give me a phone call. We start making the drive around Kampala.
All right.
That's when you are going to see how impactful this is going to come. And I'm very sure if we start on 16th, or if the president has not intervened, if government, okay, I won't say the president, if government has not intervened before 16th, and we start on 16th, I'm very sure we shall not get to 18th.
Okay, there will have been an intervention.
There would have been intervention. And this time round, we want an intervention with a solution. We are tired of coming, taking the good tea, taking the good lunch with no solution.
Just talking.
Just talking. You know, now they take you, they give you the good lunch, they give you that tea. Yeah? We are tired of that.
Yeah, you want action now.
That's why the last meeting we held in Lugogo, people showed that we don't want your tea, we don't want your refreshments, and they were left there. For us, we have come for a solution. When they realized that there was no solution, people departed.
Do we have an exact amount or percentage you want these taxes to be reduced to?
For the taxes, when you look
like
at
the 18% rent.
Now, when you look at the 18%, even before you look at the 18%, I'll give an example to the garment sector. To the garment sector, when you import, there was an increment of taxes on by 4.5% on any amount you declare. URA increases it with 4.5%.
Yeah.
Just because they tell you that you are under declaring. But how am I under declaring? Yet I've brought the receipts showing that I bought it that exact amount from China. But now for them they increase with 4.5. So we are looking at all this to go away. We are looking at all the taxes in kilograms to go away. This is what we are looking at. We are not looking at the 18% of VAT. We are not looking at the 18% of IFRIS. We are looking at all the taxes, those ones which were onboarded, the 4.5, the taxations in kilograms, the so and so on. We are looking for all those things to go away. That is the solution we are looking for.
Okay. And I truly hope we shall yield results. And by the way, during these days, have you got any interventions or maybe calls from government and sort of as you prepare for the shutdown?
I think we've not gotten any call for intervention. We've not gotten any. Yes.
No one is trying to tell you, please do not.
But now we've not gotten from any. Yes.
All right.
Apart from police being the police is being so active these days following up. But we are not going to do a violent strike for Uganda police. Please be calm.
That's an assurance.
Yes.
Okay.
Because even if we host a small meeting of sector leaders,
they have to bring.
Police is there. What are they discussing? We are not going to be violent. Because if it would have been violent, we would buy. If it is violent, you don't need to declare.
Sure.
You just wake up one day, you show off on the streets. But if it is a peaceful demonstration, we are going to remain in our covers, for living from our beds, closing our shops. We are not going to be violent.
And there's nothing like carrying placards and sort of.
No.
It's just locking your door and you stay home.
We are going to close our shops. We shall convene a meeting, and this meeting, I think we shall declare what's next. Okay. Because even for the 14 days, we may feel they are too small, and we say 21 days.
Oh, wow, this is really interesting. But well, we are exploring traders' allegations on double taxation by the URA, and of course other pressing issues in there, just like Mr. Katongole has been explaining here, and what is happening, how they are having enforcement from URA brutally doing what they do, and then all things like that. Anyway, it is like a whole circle of disturbance in there and under the traders sector. So it has been a very good pleasure to have you here, and I'd love you give us your lasting shots as we wind up this particular show.
My parting shots will be that for the business community, it's high time we look at the future. We need to see the future of the people coming after us, because now for us, the people who brought us into business, some of them no longer exist. They are no longer there. But now, if they brought us on board, we need to look at what are we leaving for the next 5 years or 10 years. So we need to create an impactful generation. We are not being rude to government, but what we are doing is having a lasting solution and amicably settling of issues at hand. Yes. So for us, we feel that this what we do, it will be done by other people in the next 20 years. I may not be there, you may not be there, but the people who are coming after us still want to benefit on what we reap. Because even as we are reaping from what the people who brought us on board, what they saw. So what are they going to reap after our dismiss. So it's a humble appeal to the business community. Let us stick to our plan unless it changes otherwise. But this time round, we are closing off all our shops. We are closing off all the businesses, and I think no business will be running, because even these taxes are affecting the the people in public transport. So 16th is the day to go. We shall close all our shops until government intervenes on the pressing issues.
Okay.
Yes.
And are we also looking at these people in markets and others? All those ones are operating?
Also, the people in markets, they are affected because of recent, just maybe out of time, of recent I was speaking to someone who was supplying a hotel. And they were telling them, now for us now we need to have the IFRS system. But then this one comes that tells them, but now for me I'm buying from a trader down in Kabera Maido who does not even know what the IFRS system is. Now for you asking for the IFRS system. So everyone is touched. Even in the markets, they are touched. You go you take around your camera asking for the people what is really pressing. They will say this and this and this. So a lot of people are crying down there. Not from only URA, but from all the enforcement teams, KCCA, people are really crying. On a daily basis, we get such allegations.
Maybe before we completely end this, have you tried a scope of study around our neighbors, maybe like Nairobi or Dar es Salaam, those other cities?
We've done that research, by the way, and we also gave URA statistics that of recent people, the Congolese were coming here to purchase from here, but they are no longer coming. Someone prefers from coming to Congo, passes through Uganda, goes to Rwanda. Someone comes from Congo, passes through Uganda, goes to Kenya, just to buy, just because of the favorable, for the favorable business policies. Even us, being open to you, people are now importing through Kenya, because Kenya is favorable to the business community, and they bring here. They are like buying from Kenya, but instead they are importing from Kenya because Kenya is favorable.
Wow. He is Mr. Katongole Abdul Hakim, and he is the Secretary General of Kasita, the Youth League. It has been a pleasure for having you here today.
Thank you.
Yes, I hope the discussion has yielded much to you there, our viewer. Yes, my name is Luke Majumba Alenaitwe, and our programs will be continuing. But for now, we are going to sign out. Remember, we are powered by Protea Hotel by Marriott in Entebbe. Have yourselves a lovely day.